And we are live! Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hope y'all are doing fine
help me,
tonight.
They stuck me in here. Help me.
Help.
Help! Oh no!
Oh boy.
Oh.
Hi,
Connor,
everyone.
take it away, my man.
Yeah,
No.
hey. I'm still getting set up. Hi. We are talking Contagion tonight. Welcome to this episode of the Fellas B-Roll. I, as always, just kidding, not always. Tonight I will be your host, as I lead the discussion on the Fellas B-Roll, on Talking Contagion, which if you didn't watch the stream, why the fuck are you here?
Leave.
Yeah, we are going to be talking spoilers, so.
Yes, this is going to contain so much spoiler talk, so if you haven't watched Contagion, go watch Contagion.
No.
And yeah, so we're gonna start it off, going around the table. Introduce yourselves, just in case they don't know.
Yeah, of course. So, I'm Noah McCulloch, the person that is here. I played Gregory Dustman in Contagion. One of my favorite characters, 56-year-old doomer, prepper, doomsday prepper, and he was a lot of fun.
Himself.
He's the doomer boomer himself. And not even a boomer. He was born in 67. So, yeah, I think 67. Might have the date wrong there. Haven't looked at my backstory in, guess what? A week. Oh. So, that's me. I'm also hosting the stream on my computer. So, I could just end it all. Ricky, stop raising up the camera and tell you who you are.
Anyways, hey everyone. It's the crackhead of the Fellas Roll. I am Del Forger. Also Corin in the soon-to-be continued Catalyst.
Week away.
My name is Ricky Self. I'm a player. That's really all I do. Hopefully, maybe I can DM because this guy, isn't Connor below me? Yeah. This guy below me has given me lots of inspiration from what we'll be talking about today.
He's right there.
The horror.
Yes.
Horrors.
So,
I've had so many nightmares because of him. So many. I cannot
Dude,
sleep.
especially that last one, dude. The last episode.
I woke up and there was I was standing in the corner over there and I was smiling at myself. I don't think I'm safe.
It was fucking
I don't
terrifying,
think I'm
dude.
safe.
It's terrifying.
Since we're already on the subject of it, what were you two's favorite moments of the campaign, and then I will give mine.
Oh, of course, yeah.
When we were,
I
have mine straight up. I have mine straight up.
Yeah, go.
When you were fighting the spider creature, and I was fighting like the smiley man, that was like my genuine favorite part because of how like creeped out I was, but at the same time, it felt so freaking cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
5 minutes into the stream.
I already fucking
yeah, same.
Oh,
But, yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was fucking great, dude.
No, that was like the combat. Combat every time was really good, even though I was on death's door every time because I took the skill. There's a skill with I think it's my class was the haunted one.
Scorned or
you're the wrong.
The wrong, not the scorned.
That's it. I took the skill where you don't take damage in combat until the end of it, and Ricky forgot that he doesn't take damage until the end of it. So I'm running around doing crazy shit, forgetting. Oh yeah, you're a human being, not a god. But no, that was my first Monster of the Week game I've ever played, and I see why it's so much fun. Very fast paced, very fun. But my favorite moment was all the combats, honestly.
Noah?
Yeah, my favorite moment has to be that meeting with the CIA agent.
Ooh.
The very first episode.
He wasn't CIA.
Oh, what was he? What was he?
FBI?
I can't tell you.
Meeting with the mysterious organization member, the secret agent.
Is overplayed.
Doesn't mean there's more to be revealed. He doesn't want to play all his cards out, especially on stream.
I want him to.
I mean, me too. But as a DM, I know what he's doing.
Okay.
So,
Ricky, I have.
Ricky Deffen.
I'm pulling out a dice right now.
Okay.
Ooh, rollies on B-roll. Ooh,
It's a D6, D4.
D4. So there's a 25% chance you get this. If you call the number before I roll it.
3.
3. 4.
Damn.
3, 4. My ear!
Honestly, guys, never mind. I'm not making that joke. I think we should be sponsored by Gamer Subs.
True. I think we should have many as sponsors.
Funny.
But,
like I'm gonna go a little off topic just for a second. I really thought about because there's on Gamer Subs you can sign up to be a sponsor on them. I was this close from signing us up.
We'll talk about that. Anyway, my favorite moment was that moment where we met him. That was my favorite moment. Was the distracting me. Meeting him and then into talking to him, him kind of revealing a little bit more of Greg, and then that transformation into being the first zombie that we see, or whatever the hell those creatures were. I
have to pull up my notes.
Your notes for the campaign, yeah.
I really liked Dell and Greg had a good combination.
Yeah, it was very much an understated kind of very casual relationship. It
was very, very casual, and what's really nice is our backstory's connected to where we grew together already. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we had to take the time during the campaign to grow, like get that what's the words I'm looking for? Get that connection,
chemistry.
Get that connection with the chemistry with each other. It's like we already wrote it in there, so we just kind of used our connection we already have as friends.
Yeah, which I think was kind of on purpose a little bit, maybe if not subconsciously, because the length of the campaign didn't really cater to any kind of character growth per se. It was more just activating what was going to happen. Yeah.
And your character still grew.
Oh, most definitely.
And changed, but it wasn't like how like in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where it's like there are 10 sessions dedicated directly to your character's backstory.
Yeah.
Like oh shit, we don't have time for that like kind of personal stuff.
We don't have time for character growth. Get to stepping.
Yeah, it was like that. You have to keep moving or you're fucked.
Yeah, literally.
Like I very specifically remember like writing this in a way where it was like in Dungeons and Dragons there is like that when you're running like a longer campaign there's that big thing of like every DM knows it where the players you write this intricate plot hook that you just put so much time and masterfully craft and you know every single detail and then the players go the opposite direction. I didn't give you a choice.
I feel like the week, it's like you get, when the story that you make, you kind of have to stick to it. And I feel like that's, if there's anyone who is first time DMing, based off the first time I played Monster of the Week, I feel like it's very DM friendly. Or keeper friendly. It's called the Keeper, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Every like if you want to get into like the Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing but don't really have all the time to learn the system, play a Powered by the Apocalypse system. I
learned it in 2 hours.
Ricky learned it in 2 hours
running. That means a lot.
Yeah, Ricky's not the brightest.
No.
We ain't gotta be that mean to him now, boys. Come on.
You should see him try and solve a puzzle.
I thought you were gonna pull out the Rubik's Cube.
I don't have a Rubik's Cube. I have Baby Yoda.
Rein it back in. His name is Grogu.
Grogu.
My favorite moment, I think, was when I was describing like the horde and I saw the genuine sort of like terror, or it was when I did this kind of thing with my lights.
Oh, and they turned on and off.
And oh yeah, where I'm like talking and they're like changing and all that other stuff because it like
yeah, your use of lighting and camera work in this campaign I think it really showed like what you could do properly with an online campaign was very interesting.
It shows what you can do with how little. Like you don't need a lot to do a lot.
Like, because in actuality, we were like, we are sitting in front of laptops with dice to the side, and everything I'm saying is like, just describing. There was no tabletop, there was no like mats in front of us. We're not close enough to where we can touch each other. So I still wanted to get y'all involved, and I knew like, okay, how can I get them to continue to pay attention?
Continue to traumatize us.
It was like, okay, I'm going to do very specific things with my camera where it's like you're fighting the guy in the mines and you look back and he's just
yeah, that was terrifying, dude. That was terrifying.
I'm so glad my mic didn't pick up me screaming.
It was really funny
because it was like, all right, this is what we need to do, and it set a pretty good tone. And just before we move into talking about the episodes itself, Ricky, you talked about it a little bit, but if you had to recommend it to a new player, would you recommend Monster of the Week? And how was your experience with Monster of the Week been?
So you said that there's different like types of Monsters of the Week. I had so much fun as a beginner to Monster of the Week that I want to try all of them. If you are a first-time DM, based off what I've seen, and like we said earlier, I would suggest trying it. I feel like it's very friendly to you. But yeah, no, absolutely. I would suggest it to anyone at all. Because it just seems so fun, and I was creating my character. He didn't seem overpowered, and when he did seem overpowered is when reality hit him, and it's like, oh, I may not take any damage, but when that adrenaline's out of my body, I will be launching out of the solar system. And that was really fun.
Yeah,
really
it was extremely interesting to see that dynamic. I think that one ability, that one move made it very, very interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, but like, I kind of didn't give you guys a choice, but it was very interesting to see how your choices matter because I still wanted your choices to
I
matter.
feel like though in a situation like that, you kind of don't have a choice. It's either you fight or you run.
Right.
And based off the way our characters were made, my character might have ran, but at the same time, if I did, I feel like the story would still somehow come back together in some way. Like, oh, you run, but they're still following you.
Well, there were so many options that we had at the very end, and we're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves, but overall, there were so many options throughout every episode. Every session we did was really interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get right to it then. We are going to be talking about the first episode of Contagion, the very first session. And I need to pull it up just to make sure it doesn't have a different name on my notes. But yeah, we're going to be talking about session 1.
No.
Winter Solstice.
No.
No?
No. Goodbye, everybody.
Or session 1, The End's Beginning. So, for session 1, let me pull up the notes here. Yeah, we actually got to some of these questions already. So, if you want to talk, how did you come up with your characters specifically? Because we know we've talked about it. The Doomer Boomer, Greg, who's not a boomer, and Dell. How like you guys established that relationship between them before the game even started. But how did you even come up with your characters in the first place?
Would you like to go first?
yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So with Greg, I always think about every time I make a character, right? I think about what did I play last time? The last time I was able to play. What am I currently playing, and what can I do new? What can I do different? I never want to retread ground. Even if it's the same class, if I'm playing like D&D, even if it's the same class, how different can I make them, right? And I was thinking about my previous characters, and they've always been 20, 30 somethings, young, competent, kind of strapping individuals. I never normally make ugly characters on purpose. And I wouldn't say Greg is ugly. He's just not conventionally attractive.
Rough.
Right? He's a rough and tumble kind of guy. And early on, it was really difficult not to slip right into Dell's accent doing the voice. And of course, as a aspiring voice actor, I do tend to focus on the voice first. It's either first or last. Because it's first because I come up with the voice and then make the character out of the voice that I came with because I want to play that kind of character, right? Cyrus came about like that. I know we're talking a lot about Cyrus, but strapping paladin who just talks like this, and I just started doing this voice one day, and I was like, what kind of character is perfect for this kind of individual? And, Conquest Paladin came out of that. Golden armor, sword and shield, all that jazz. So... But with Greg, actually, I did the voice last. I came up with the concept of a kind of older character. I never played an older character. And that was the first thing that I came up with. Wanted to play an older character. Second, I wanted to play one who knew some, but not all kind of thing. And I think what you had already told me at that point, before I even had an idea for a character at all, was I wanted to play... The minute you gave me that information, I was like, okay, I want to play someone who knows but doesn't, kind of thing. Like I want someone who is perfect to be like, yes, this makes sense, but I still wanted that mystery. I wanted that. I didn't want to be like, this is what I had found out 15 years ago. Now it's happening, kind of thing. And obviously, Connor wasn't going to tell me anything. You think he's going to be all forthwith with whatever's going on? No. But I wanted to play that character. I wanted to play a character who had not necessarily full on combat, and I did make him very combat in the end, because I gave him guns, and why wouldn't I give him guns? And in the end, he kind of came up as a bag of tricks style character, trying to use preparedness to its limits, which was the ability for me to be able to, I think I would have this, and then I can roll for it, and if I roll high enough, I have it. If I don't, I know where it is, I can get it. If I roll really bad, it's somewhere really bad, but I know where it is, kind of thing. That happened a couple times, which was really interesting. And but going back to the origins of him, he came about from that idea of, I wanted to play an older character. I wanted to play a character who used a lot of knowledge, and I wanted to play a character that played on that knowledge and used it. So, and I see you motherfuckers, both of you, cracking up. This happens every time I go on a little bit of a tangent about myself. What's going on?
Yeah, Connor, what's going on?
What's
going on, Connor?
I wanted to break Ricky, and I saw that he was looking down at his phone, and I have my Xbox.
I'm not looking down at my phone. I'm looking at the stickers on my.
Okay, then I'm sorry for assuming, but I saw Ricky wasn't paying attention because I was paying attention. So what
I was listening.
I have my Xbox over here, right, like off camera. I'm not gonna move my camera because my mom is watching, so judge me. So I opened up Overwatch so it would give Ricky a notification.
It did. All I heard was, and I was like,
"What though?" I'm so glad I have BattleNet closed, because that would have been like.
And I looked up and I smiled at Connor.
No, all I did was open it and then lock eyes with Rick. But yeah, that's really interesting because like I love secrets. If you couldn't tell from them being whatever, I like going, all right, here's all the information I'm gonna give you, and them going, oh, that's a lot, and then I'm like, nope,
it's not.
It's not.
There's more.
Cause like, you guys did make combat heavy characters, which was fine and that worked because, how do you put it? They say something in The Last of Us, but I don't remember all of it. But it's like, your character can be really smart. You can be the smartest person alive. All of those smarts don't mean shit if you can't hit your shots.
Yeah. They especially don't mean shit if you get bit.
Yeah, they don't mean a fucking thing if you get infected. And especially with how, like, kind of these things work. And y'all saw it a little bit. The intelligence is still there. Like, the person is still inside. They're mostly just getting taken along for a ride with the thing you did not get its name. That was
Heart Mother.
The Heart.
Mommy Heart.
Okay. Yeah, the Mommy Heart.
Goes perfectly along with the clip we posted.
Yep. I can actually tell you its name now that it's very, very.
Yes.
Very,
yes.
Let me scroll down to it.
Yeah, no, that information and everything, the way you played the zombies was so interesting.
Tystalia.
Tystalia. What an interesting name.
And yeah, Tystalia, like kind of how that entity worked was like it was a Lovecraftian fucking monster that everybody else but Noah knows was the mountain. So, and how it kind of worked, I had it in my head because I didn't want you guys, like, this was originally supposed to be 5 sessions. Y'all were going to fight the Heart. I was making secret rolls off screen, and I don't know if you can see it in the stream or not, but it was like, at a certain point, these defibrillators are going to break through, and she's going to be, and she's going to get up. Like
The mountain is going to rise.
the mountain's going.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I thought we were on a timer.
You were.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were.
I had minute-long timers on my phone, and when I did that, I would roll 2d6. How I did it was it needed to roll a 12, and that DC decreased like for every kind of one, and y'all got really, really, really lucky. Statistically improbable that I would not roll it, but y'all were doing a really good job of like controlling everything. But how that like I went on a tangent, sorry. How that kind of worked was I really enjoyed you playing a character that would like know about this shit. So it was really interesting because then it saved me a lot of world building because I was like, if he's not going to interact with people, I don't really have to prepare people. I just got to prepare world, and I got to prepare weird shit you would look into. So,
and the fun thing is about the people is the people we did interact with were very interesting and very fun. So,
like, I'm not going to lie to you. I prepared the town. Mount Mystic has about 2,000 people. About 20 of them have names and personalities on the off chance you ran into them. Like, you ran into Ryan, who I threw in there, and I was just like, because there was a choice there. It was like, I knew you guys were either going to go to the school, or I had something else.
Yeah.
Which you didn't even get to the stuff in the school, which is interesting.
can you talk about what's in the school?
I can, but I will when we get to episode 2.
Fair enough.
So, when you ran into Ryan, I was like, okay, great. And you ran into the guy that runs the Burger Bar.
Oh yeah, Burger Bard. I love that place. That yeah, I want to see that restaurant again somewhere, whether it be in another Monster of the Week, or another
I want to see it
game of
IRL.
yours, or we'll talk
if
after
you
the
ever
stream.
come back, it's a chain, kind of. It's one of those local chains, like kind of like a Culver's or a Waffle House or a Zaxby's. Like,
Yeah, we'll talk after the stream.
Yeah. But like you making a character that was like, okay, I want to know what's going on.
Right.
It's great because then I don't have to worry about like, I have to give this character a reason, because like we have all played characters in Dungeons and Dragons where it's like, it doesn't make sense for my character to be here because there's no reason for him to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole other thing about character creation, but it worked really well how you meshed with the world. And I think it was even more impressive how well you meshed with Ricky's character, which I'm going to toss it to you now, Rick.
Solid transition.
Thank you. I thought of it in my head a minute ago.
Let him cook.
Yeah, all that improv training.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
So when I was creating Dell, I wanted to create so there's one thing, and I just listening to Noah talk as I'm putting stickers on my microphone to focus. There is one common thing I have in all of my D&D characters. They are all in some way drama queens. And so I was like, I want to make a gentle giant. That's also like, if he sees a bee type deal, he loses his shit. But what if it was zombies? And that's kind of where I went off of, and I was like, I really want like a funny backstory. Like, what was his? Why did this fear become so? And I looked up the top 15 worst horror zombie movies ever released in box offices. And the top one I had was the Resident Evil franchise. And I sadly didn't get to do it because the zombie, like, they weren't zombies for real. None of them were zombies for real. So I couldn't, like, I had, for the first session, I think I did it like 2 or 3 times. naming off movies, I had a sticky note on the side of my computer with different names of movies that Dell had seen, and it was funny. It was really awesome, and just making that gentle giant that I wanted someone who I could turn my brain off in combat and just have fun with, because I knew if I made a complicated character with this brand new system, I would get frustrated and not enjoy it as much. So when I was looking at the wrong, then I saw, oh, I just don't take damage at all during combat. Okay. This is kind of like a one-shot. If I die, I die. It's alright, you know? And then I fell in love with the character, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I don't want to die. Oh, can I take this back, Connor, can I switch my skill?
Kill!
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 But it was fun. It just felt right, and Dell being from Tennessee too was also really funny. I remember having that one detail that never talked about again during the campaign after episode 1 of introducing him was he puts on a hoodie with the Tennessee state logo on the side of it. And that was the only detail you got from where he's from, other than he's a very southern man. Which now confuses me, now that I'm thinking about it, is how he got from Tennessee to where he is now. But, you know.
So, future.
That's a future! That's a future!
That's a thing for the future, baby.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Yes. I can now talk about Dell. Ricky, when you sent me your backstory, it was the first thing I had read that day. And you can ask Sari. I am very quiet when I wake up. She could just feel me like vibrating from
laughter.
From laughter, just. She thought I was trying to get something out of my nose. It was a lot of. So. Yeah. I really liked your backstory. Because if you couldn't tell, like, a lot of the whole thing was like references to.
Ooh, if I could pause you for a second, just to tell the audience, my backstory, most of my backstories, the way I've been writing them, is journal entries, because they're easier for me to write. Because when I like writing scripts, I don't like writing stories. So I can make little sections, and it makes my brain go burr. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I know. I love lore entry stuff like that, and I will say he's also done the same thing for Corin. And
Corin's the exact same way.
Oh, it's so fucking beautiful. It's even better there, though.
Oh, it's like 50 times better.
Oh my god. Anyway, all right.
Hush about your campaign on your own time, fuckers. Hijacking my shit.
Hey, it's your campaign too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deflated! Deflated!
Why don't you deflate these fucking...
Do it.
Don't you mean...
Why don't you deflate these fucking balls?
Alright, enough. That was the one time. That was a perfect time. No more. We're not getting distracted by the new Discord soundboard.
Everyone, take a deep breath.
No, don't hit the soundboard. Sorry. It's like...
That would have been really funny if you went... All right. Damn,
Don't do it.
Okay, stop. No more. Done. Finished. Complete.
I found a new thing to mess around with. It's a troll mini.
Also, a detail I forgot to add about Greg, and I'll say that now since it's kind of relevant now, is that he is the uncle of my very first Monster of the Week character that I made, which his name is Tygan Dustman, otherwise known as Dusty.
Dusty.
Connor ran a one-shot in this same setting, Monster of the Week, zombies as well, more traditional zombies, was very interesting. But he was kind of a rocker dude. He was kind of a younger Greg, honestly, very interesting.
Honestly.
So, yeah,
He just had more energy.
yeah. He was a bit more into rock instead of
Yeah, but
hippie
Ricky,
70s stuff. So.
to bring it back around to the person we were talking about.
Yes, please.
Ricky, you did a very good job of making like a funny character who was also completely serious. Sorry, something fell off my desk and it distracted me.
You're good.
But you made this like character who was very comical, but it was just very entertaining. Like after reading that backstory, seeing you play him, it was just like, and you meshed so well with like the tone of the world, where it was like, oh yeah, I'm silly and goofy, but also I will throw the fuck down.
Yeah. And funny little backstory to you. He wrote his backstory entry the day before it happened.
Yep. But moving on, so I have talked about your characters a lot. So do y'all have any questions for me about the world? Anything from the first session?
Yeah, I was really interested in knowing what was the. Oh, I feel I need to give the floor to someone.
And why is that?
Because he's raising his hand with a very, very interested and very petulant child voice.
Yes. What the fuck? What drew the cars into the forest? What did that?
Oh my God, that's such a good question!
What did that?
What threw the cars?
Alright, so y'all remember that how they had those marks? What it was
the what?
Car, the marks.
The marks,
Yeah.
What it was the very first person when they went down there, of this secret government organization, when they went down there and were investigating. One of them like got hit in the ankle by one of those kind of like briars. Because y'all didn't go through the mine yourself, you would have seen more like it was originally like this kind of plant-like structure, but what it was like veins, and you were kind of going up its spine. So it was like kind of like little bone spurs.
Oh, that's so interesting.
This guy he stepped on one, and it infected him through his leg, and he was driving the car. So when he like blacked out and then turned, what I can say now, what Testalia did was it understood, okay, there are other living beings in this car. I am not going to be able to take all of them, but if I crash this car, I can do so. So what Testalia did was crash the car. It propelled the guy that was driving through the windshield in the back thing, and just in a batshit chain reaction, it was able to time up as well with one of the power outages. So the car up front stopped, and the car in the back kept going, and they just smashed into each other and then flew off the road.
Another question. Was it a good idea we all shot them in the head?
Very. There was almost an encounter there.
Let's go. We're geniuses.
Or it would have been an encounter later on with zombies with guns.
Yeah, and I took... By the way, I had in my inventory, I don't remember how many I had, but I think I had 4 or 5 guns off of them.
And what it was, now that I can say this to answer
They would have hit us with the Flood Spartan laser.
It was the Flood. It was a hive mind.
I knew it.
Yeah.
And that's why in the forehead, it takes all of your knowledge and uses it against you. it was her followers. They were not zombies, they were followers. So they were going to they were building monuments in her honor to welcome her back. The mountain. And you guys, every single time did not get infected.
Right, we took so much damage though? How did you roll for it?
No, I did, because you're not supposed to roll a monster of the week, but that's fucking lame. So what I would do,
I told you that session 1. I was like, bro, roll.
So I rolled. I had my d6s back here, and I would roll, and it's like if they roll like, because it was all determined off of you guys' rolls, but it was like I need to declare it beforehand, and they need to roll like a 10. I had a bunch of rules and everything, but we'll get to those later.
Yeah, of course. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah. So
Murder.
I guess let's go over the events of episode 1 then. Yes. So do what?
Y'all give the rundown.
Yeah. So
I woke up.
I
woke
get
up in a
up.
new Bugatti.
Woo!
And
Yeah.
nothing keeps me down.
So many songs about waking up. But yeah, the very beginning was amazing. You it's a human condition thing, you know. But the very first thing you did was setting that scene with the radio, which worked wonderfully into the finale teaser that we put out, and then
It
into
was very cool.
all of that was just so good that it really set that scene and kind of gave us the go ahead to really understand what we were doing, you know, how we were playing this. And then it really surprised me, the chemistry that we had, because I knew we were going to have a lot of chemistry, and we wrote our backstory. We never talked about our backstories with each other.
No,
we didn't
don't.
write our backstories like purposely to coincide and be like, you know, buddy characters. And we weren't even really buddy. I mean, Greg and Dell were both very like kind of standoffish, don't touch me kind of people.
We met up, I think 2 days before the actual stream itself, and we were like, so we both agreed that we knew each other.
Oh yeah, and it had to be that way, you know. Like it didn't make any sense because there would not have been enough time to establish the world and gel our characters, like we talked about. You know, there wouldn't been enough time to build that chemistry. So it was good that not only did I create a character that was older, you created a character that was so rooted in the problem, but we both created characters that were very just similar in regards to their kind of demeanor, but also very different, and it made for a wonderful dynamic that I really enjoyed playing. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun playing Dell and. Oh. Sorry.
Oh, we good? We good? It's okay. There's a little hiccup.
Sorry,
all good.
It's the end of the school year, so everything with the dorms are going.
Yeah.
But it was fun because it kind of taught me another way I could play Corin as well, which was more quiet, I guess you could say. But he's brand new to this world, where I was playing someone who wasn't brand new to this monster world and knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like switched the mindset of it, and it was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was so much fun establishing that and then going out, because it was such an even footing. We were like, for me anyway, I don't know about you, Ricky, but for me, going out into the town for that first time was scary. Might have been the scariest, one of the second scariest things. I think that
I was more nervous for that than I was when we actually went into the mine.
Yeah, because that moment of going out and having that, oh shit, when is it gonna
interact
happen?
With humans?
When is it gonna drop? When is shit gonna hit the fan? Like there were
When I
and there were
almost
so
fell
many
off the
tells that Connor that you dropped on us, right? There were the black vans, there were the radio warnings, there was the consume build
My
consume
pickup
stuff
truck
that we
stopped
heard
working.
right after the zombie attack. I don't know what he just said because I'm talking.
My pickup truck stopped working.
Dude, oh that too! Like the EMP blast that happened. There were so many like, is it dropping now? Is it dropping now? Is it going off now? Like there were so many moments that seemed like it was gonna be that moment, that time to really,
Connor, why
go
did you
off.
give the Big Mommy Mountain Sombra ult?
So, it's a big thing in horror media that's really interesting to me is the idea of cell phones like this.
Okay.
In Oakheart, at least when I ran there, it was like, okay, it's in Oregon, you're out far enough, it's really hard to get service, you're like kind of in a blackout zone.
That's like if you ever seen a T-Mobile ad and then you see the one part in Oregon that's like gray, that's the part we were in.
Yeah, precisely.
But in Colorado, it's like I drove through the mountains. Like this entire setting was inspired by a hellish 18-hour road trip that was brought on to me by American Airlines. Fuck you, American Airlines. Never forget.
Well,
so
we're never getting sponsored by American Airlines.
But that's why we're sponsored by GamerStop.
No, we are not sponsored by GamerStop.
Sponsored by
I wish we were.
Yeah,
I wish we were.
And
Please.
Microsoft and
Bro,
lying.
I'm sponsored by Sam's Cola.
If we could get sponsored by like off-brand Coke, that'd be awesome.
That would
that'd
be great,
awesome, dude. I have drank so much water.
But that hellish experience kind of like, I was like, okay, at least I can be on my phone.
Connor got
Shit. So
Connor got traumatized by no phone service, and he said, "What if I put this problem on everyone else I know?"
So what real quick, a side note for why that happened. I'm fat. I don't know if you've noticed, but I am a larger lad, and sometimes if I lean back a little bit too much, put a little bit too much cushion on the pushing, right?
Dude,
The pin that holds in the seat, because you have like the pin you can roll back like this, or you can sit up and lock it and it just stays there, right? Sometimes the pin gets wiggles out and makes me fall and makes that really loud sound. Anyway.
When I was driving through Colorado, it was like these small ass fucking towns where there's nothing around, there's nothing to do, and like it's just all like maybe 200 people. And I was like, okay, I want to do a bigger town. And then I was sitting there and I was like, what is the and pulling from like my experience of like being 18 years old, sitting in the back of a Jeep, pissed off at American Airlines and wanting to vent my anger on Twitter, but not being able to. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, in every horror movie that I enjoy, the characters do not have phones or they have something that hinders them from, like, calling someone. Like, because that's the big thing.
Or they're just stupid.
Yeah, that's the big thing in all the horror movies, right? Is like, oh yeah, beep, 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 beep. There's no phone service. And, like, I was also inspired kind of by the, Nope. And how, like, that thing drained the electricity in the area and nothing would, like, work. So they had to, like, think around that. So it was mostly, it's a fun challenge for the players where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call the police. For the players,
Beep, 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 beep.
I'm gonna get on Twitter and see if this is happening everywhere.
Beep, 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 beep.
Just that isolation and that feeling that you are completely and totally alone and that you are the only one that can fix this.
See, you feel scared more when you're alone and you know you're not supposed to be. And you also feel scared when you aren't alone when you're supposed to be. It's always when when the human brain just. Oh.
Yeah. And that actually works really well into getting into the second session, Ruin and Brimstone.
I would say before we do, I don't know, does we have a question in chat.
Yeah.
I think from someone I know. Well, at least someone that I've heard of. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought so. Hello, Ms. Reed.
Does the way y'all relate to film, acting, scripts super influence how y'all play in DM? I can answer first because I know my answer. Yes, absolutely, 100%. This world y'all are playing in was something I developed, and why I wanted to play in it was because I was in a character development class, and a big thing in that class is the world. So, bless you.
Thank you.
I wanted to really test, like, the limits of my world and what, like, in a sense, what would the audience explore? What would my audience explore? And I need to test knowing what my audience wants. So I knew, like, y'all made these characters, and it was like, okay, you want mystery, you want this, you want all of these things. And more importantly than anything else, you want to feel like badasses. You don't need to feel like badasses immediately, but it feels better when you earn it.
We earned those fucking badass moments too, dude.
So you earned those fucking moments. So for me, like, it absolutely influences how I DM because I have, I'm going to use your analogy, Noah. I have a little movie going in my head.
I was going to say that on my turn.
Get fucked, idiot. As, like, and I want everybody to see it. And, like, when I make characters, I don't really think of it as much, but I do think about, like, the characters I enjoy in TV shows. Like, Leland is heavily inspired by Puss in Boots. Because
hey, you want to see something cool?
Hey, want to see something cool? And a little bit of, like, Han Solo, where it's like these really cool fucking characters that don't care, that are just there for the money, and they're gonna let you know it. But at the end of the day, they're gonna go around and they are gonna do the right thing, and they're gonna give you a bunch of shit for it. True. I think films have absolutely influenced me as a dungeon master, a keeper, and a player, and a screenwriter, because the easiest way to get me to make a character or a world for something is just to go, and it's fantasy. And I throw some dragons in a screenplay, and then I'm good, and that shit will be done in an hour. Because then I can convince myself that it's like, this is fun writing. This is fun writing.
Yeah.
So, yes, I will, I'm gonna toss it over to Noah, Ricky, because I cut Noah off, and I stole his thing, so I kind of have to let him.
No, you're good. You're good, dude. So in terms of me, when it comes to everything that is said there in that question, most definitely, yes. When I play, specifically, I always have a movie or a TV show going in my head. Sometimes depending on the thing, I also sometimes transition to like comic book stuff as well. Like I'll imagine it like comic book panels, very interestingly. But I always imagine that, and it depends on if I'm DMing or if I'm playing. And specifically the player side of things, especially for this campaign, I had a full-on TV show going in my head the entire time. I imagined the shots, I imagined the timing, the music swelling and rising, everything, the whole composition of an entire show, the editing process and everything.
And if you'll allow me to interrupt you,
please, I love people interrupting me.
I love Monster of the Week because it straight up says in like the player handbook, you can just go, and as that scene transitions, and it's like we're gonna cut away from that and go to this.
Yeah.
And it says to run it like in the thing. It says to run it like an episode of Supernatural or Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yep.
And that is perfect.
It's really cool. I love it. Yeah, though I use that as a tool to really, really bring out and time how I act and how I play the character. Because one of my favorite things, as much as I love the gaming side of it, like actually playing, a tabletop game, I much more enjoy the role play. I much more enjoy, motherfuckers, y'all are doing it again. You do it every time. Like this is, I'm gonna throw you through the roof. To be honest,
I'm just gonna throw you through the roof.
Just like, oh damn it! Oh man. Anyway, but yeah.
Before the stream.
I know. We were doing it so much. But yeah, my whole relation with fiction and the creation of a fictional story or medium of any kind is 100% definitely related to and influence how I play in DM. And DMing, oh my god, DMing the way I could go on for hours how I DM. Because when y'all are role playing and doing your scene, of course I'm imagining it and playing it in my head. But if I'm looking for a rule or something, I think, what are my bad guys doing right now? What are my party's allies doing right now? And I play scenes in my head while I'm DMing as well. Which I know sounds crazy, but that's how my brain is able to just I either cannot focus on anything at all, or I can focus on many things at once. It just depends on what I'm doing. And it's the weirdest thing. But no, that also helps with the world building and everything. Very briefly on a tangent on that. So, but yeah, I love this game, and it influences my work, and my work influences this game very heavily. Yes. Riggy.
It's my turn now. Yeah. So recently I've started creating characters and stories differently. Last semester I took a screenwriting and a psychology class at the same time. I suggest doing that if you are a new time screenwriter, because it's
new time. Dumb bitch, use words.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna send you over to the moon. I'm gonna fly you to the moon, and I'm gonna set you to the stars. Yeah, that's right. Sink. Plunder. Alright, shall I continue?
Please.
I took a screenwriting class last semester with a psychology class. And I suggest doing that if you are new to filmmaking, because it actually helped me a lot while creating characters. And I explained it today to a friend of mine. When I create characters, the way I see them as perfect is when I put my imperfections in them. When I give them my imperfections, so it can be like a habit I do or something I'm afraid of, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm able to grow them into their own person while I relate to them. And that's how I am able to, in my mind, create the perfect monster, or create the perfect person, create the perfect story, just something along those lines. I hate that smile so much.
This motherfucker right here. That motherfucker right there.
He just sent me a message in it.
That motherfucker right there.
You want to hear something very funny, Connor? I'm gonna go off topic just for a second. I watched a horror movie about schizos and Alzheimer's, and it was very terrifying. So when I just saw the first word of that, I was like, oh. But yes, film is a very big influence in my mind, because I'm thinking, what are the ways that I can torture these characters into forcing them to develop as people? Because that's the way we learned how to develop our characters. through screenwriting, our teacher gave us a podcast to listen to, and the podcast said, if you are not torturing your characters, you are not creating a true character. I want you to send them to the depths, to the edge of that mountain, and if you are not developing them through that, then you are not doing it right.
Correct.
And it's very true. It's very true. But yeah, I based off a lot of what they've said as well. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I love horror, so whenever I'm able to play horror or create horror, I feel like I shine in it.
All right. And on that note,
I also killed.
Huh?
What?
On that note, we will transition over to Session 2, Ruin and Brimstone. This is the episode where our Doomsday duo headed into the city for the first time and met with one Ryan Campbell in the
Campbell soup.
I'll kill you. In the Mount Mystic Academy, and you guys fell into the sewer and blew up.
We didn't fall into the sewer. Someone blew up the ground. Someone all F4'd the ground.
You blew up a city block.
Noah said, "It's really silly if I use this megaton bomb."
Atom bomb, baby, little atom. Okay, I gotta stop singing before I get demonetized.
Yeah.
What's money?
Don't believe in it personally.
No.
Just ask my bank account. You know how many times my card's been declined this week? Don't ask. Session 2 was probably my favorite one. Because we had 3 sessions in all. Session 2 was my favorite one mostly because of the combat we had in there. As I said before while we were making our characters, combat was my favorite part of it. Facing that creepy question mark guy, which all I could think about is, if any of you have seen Gravity Falls, is I could only think about suits.
Yes.
In a question mark suit coming at me with wide eyes, just, hey dudes! That's all I could think about, so I could just not take it serious, because all I could think about is a big man just...
That's what made it terrifying for me.
But then, yeah, all the creatures in all the episodes are amazing, but I'm not going to talk about that. That was really fun. And then we met this random guy where we never saw again, Mr. Samurai. That's what I give them little nicknames in my head when I meet characters, because I'm not going to remember the names later. So I'm like, oh, Mr. Samurai, cool. Like, what nickname would Dell give him? And it would be Mr. Samurai.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a katana.
Yeah.
Ryan also, he felt like a cameo that I didn't understand the reference to until you told me, which he was a cameo from a reference I didn't understand until you told me. So, yeah. Which is fun because it felt like we were a little interconnected, not only in the world but also in like a different medium and whatnot. So.
Well, Ryan has a really bad habit of showing up at the wrong place at the wrong time, so he went to go visit, like, some family, and then Apocalypse.
It'd be like
that. Middle threw him through a wall.
Yeah, no, we knew that. He told us that he got thrown.
That's just a regular Tuesday for me.
Pretty much.
Which is he like?
Yeah. I get thrown through a lot.
Can you tell us? Is he's just normal human? Like,
he's just a guy.
Dude got fucked up then.
You regularly get thrown through walls?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I've got body armor, but
if he had a class,
naturally,
he would be the Chosen. So, I can't give you a lot.
I could have told you that. Yeah, I could have told you that.
Yeah, he is absolutely.
Yeah, Mr. Samurai. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed.
That voice was so cool,
dude. You do it so well,
and you don't even need a filter to make it like crisp.
No, it's so
Because
dude.
I'm genuinely thinking about it. If you added a robot filter to that voice, I don't think it would be
Even
as
like a
good as he
TV
does.
static or like a
No, I don't think
old-timey
it would.
mic
I don't
or
think it would be as good as he
anything.
does.
No, I think it was perfect.
Connor's like, what are these compliments? I don't understand them.
I'm zoning out.
Me too.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, all right. Then let's look at it from a.
And
Let's look at it from a more like actually artistic standpoint. That voice brought out a point of change in the story, right? Like up until that point, we
Like
were just kind of dealing with like
regular zombies, and this was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here's like the next stage of one,
here's like
good
unintelligent individual,
and then he threw me through a fucking locker like I was 5 years old.
dude. Like
He went, hello, close
he
line.
was he was literally Mr. X. Like he was straight up Mr. X.
Yeah, straight up.
Mr. X could teleport.
Yeah.
I
Well,
totally
Mr. X
forgot
pretty
he
much
could
can teleport. Him and Nemesis both can pretty much they're just there. It's like how like it's the same thing, but he can literally teleport. But like really interesting. I loved it. I don't know if this was. I don't think this was on stream. I asked Connor about Riddle, and I was like, so what happens when he teleports? Like, what do we see when he teleports? And Connor, if you want to restate what you told me. Like what we actually see. Do you remember? Do you not remember? Okay, I can say it. It's fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I saw your eyes.
No, I saw it too. I saw it too.
Don't do this, Noah.
No, I saw it too. It's good. There's a lot of details, and it was like an offhand comment that I asked about.
Okay.
He told me that that it was nothing. It was like a blinking you miss it thing. Like there was no effect, no like teleportation thing, and no like anything. It was
I
just
remember now.
one blink, and he's there. It was
Have you-
terrifying to think about that.
Have you seen? There's an episode of The Mandalorian where he is breaking like people out of a prison.
Okay.
And there's also a horror movie called The Light, where someone's like
That I have
turning
seen.
off the lights, and like a person is in the hallway, and then they turn the light on and the person's gone. That's what it was.
Yeah.
When the
No. Yeah.
When the lights are blinking and flickering and beep, 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 beep.
There's literally, I know exactly what he's talking about. There's literally a whole sequence where it just goes boop, boop.
And that's like, because that's what I wanted to make that encounter. Because it's like he can hit you really hard, but he is very weak. But he's very, very hard to hit. I can look at the stats I gave him now that we're out of it. I believe, yes. Riddle has 4 armor when in an area with blinking lights.
Whoa.
So we were doing no damage to him.
No. You were not.
Wow.
That's terrifying to think about. Like, honestly.
Doing was he was toying with you and making you think that he was weak so that you would stay there and try and fight him. He was violating the Geneva Convention.
Wait, so what happened then when we killed him?
You blew him up.
It's true.
A plastic explosive.
No, we didn't.
They did.
No, we
No,
most
we blew
definitely
the
did.
wall up.
Oh, wait, yeah, and then he teleported.
Yeah.
you killed him.
Bull. Bull. I don't believe it.
What was it, Ryan? Did he do something special?
Oh yeah, Mr. Samurai?
He doesn't want to tell us, and the campaign's over. I want to know.
Boom.
Don't.
2 or 4.
What are you rolling?
D4. 1 through
A
4.
D4?
2.
3.
Dead.
2.
I'm not telling you what I rolled.
Tell me.
Tell
No.
you.
Tell me
There's a
no.
lot.
Alright, I'm going to
Good
stew
one.
here forever if I don't move on. Anyway, moving on from Riddle.
But yeah, Riddle was a very interesting encounter because that's when I really wanted to show, like, hey, it's not just zombies. Not that the Attack on Titan Titans didn't show that, or them like mutating.
I wanted to fight one of them, dude. I wish we got a
didn't.
chance to fight one of them.
I didn't.
Well, no, I mean, okay, all right.
No
I
one
know
wanted
I
to fight
don't
him.
want to fight one of them.
Noah wanted to fight one.
Yeah, I know Greg definitely wouldn't have fought him, but I did want more from them at least. I would have loved to see more from them, but it didn't work out the way I don't think it would have.
Question for Noah: did episode 2 feel really fast paced to you? Because for me, it felt very fast paced.
Yes and no.
Like, it felt like a regular, 2-hour session that we have, right? But it felt so fast-paced, like, so many events were happening at once that it was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I felt like more got packed in the time than it did.
But it didn't feel like too much, too.
No, not at all. But I mean, like, in a great way, like, whoa, we really got a lot done. I think that's why we love that session so much.
Episode 3 was like, oh, God, it's all coming at me.
Yeah.
But it's all coming at me slowly.
Mm-hmm. Well, session 3 was
I wrote a lot for session 2, and y'all got through all of it.
Very hot.
Yeah. Oh, and I did look at my notes again. What the 2 places y'all could have gone were the school and the hospital.
Bro, the hospital would have been awful. What was in the hospital? Can you tell me?
No.
So you know the smiley face guy? Yeah.
Bro, that's awful.
But very elongated, and it would be you would have been in his domain and he would have fucked with you.
That would have been awful, but I feel like Riddle was so much better.
Low-key wish we kind of did it because he was genuinely my favorite monster.
The hospital was a labyrinth. I have it in my notes that it was a labyrinth, and he was just he was going to very quickly,
just deal with us.
There was one, essentially what he would have done was just trapped you there. And just kind of kept toying with you and experimenting with you. And you would have been rats in a cage for this creature.
Wow. That's really cool. That's really cool, but I feel like Riddle was better. He was just so iconic.
Riddle was a thing that got added kind of last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I had the idea, I was like, well, if she can manipulate electricity, Riddle isn't real. She can make him real. So it was
fucking cool.
Then what I did was there was a school dance going on, a winter solstice dance, that you guys completely avoided, and now I can talk about. It was very similar to that first session of Monster of the Week.
I was about to say, yeah, because there was a dance. I think was it homecoming dance or
it was the first day of school dance.
First day of school.
I thought it was last day.
Nope. In this, it was the winter. It was the last day of school dance before winter break.
Yeah.
In the one I ran for Noah, it was the first day of school dance.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It was heavily inspired by the. For those who are wondering, it was heavily inspired by the episode of Community with the zombies. It was very fun.
Very fun. Our resident egg boy played a ghost.
He did. He possessed people. It was interesting.
It's very interesting.
But it was a puzzle, but a sort of musical puzzle, where instead of the last one, there was this record playing music that was controlling everyone. With this one, you needed to play a certain song to kind of dispel it, and the song was Rocky Mountain High. And we didn't get to it, which is fine, because then we would have gotten copyright striked. But Riddle, she kind of like, no one was in the mascot costume when she possessed someone. She did it for fear factor, to have them put on the costume and then like kind of hive mind out to the electronics in the area. So like essentially Riddle was connected to the Wi-Fi. Riddle had his Bluetooth on and could see through the monitors with the little Riddle on the monitors. And that's the only reason they were on in the school.
That's really cool.
Is because they needed to drain that power for the defibrillators and the heart, because the heart runs on electricity. So she was diverting some power to the school to trap people in that building.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's where Ryan was, because his cousin did not have a date to the dance, and she was getting bullied. So Ryan was there to go kick the bully's ass, and then the world ended. So he did kick the bully's ass, but you know,
He more killed the bully's ass. Probably.
no.
Murder.
So, you know how you play scenes out in your head? What happened was, have you seen Carrie?
Stop.
He kind of reverse carried them.
Oh.
It was like he got him and his cousin out, and then the bully was like running to the door, and Ryan just locked it and ran.
It's so much more brutal than I was imagining.
No, he just like locked it, stood there as the bully was like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "Stop bullying my cousin," and then. Yeah, Ryan's an asshole. I love him.
That's awesome. Man, yeah, no, our I think that was the most resourceful we had to be that session was and also the first time I realized, oh, he's ready to fuck us up.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was ready to kill us. Like I accepted that, but it was different approaching it. You know, I guess it's the idea of it's different seeing death. Like it's different experiencing that. Like it was
Straight up.
Oh God, I am one harm away from death. Like that's essentially being on 1 HP. Like that, it was one and done. Like if I got hit one more time, multiple times, I was done. The only thing that saved me was the fact that I had preparedness and was able to pop out a little med kit for me. So, and Dell. Dude, Dell got fucked up, dude.
Every single time.
Also, we didn't even talk about, we were so focused on the school, and rightfully so, but the beginning was awesome as well. Like, going to the what was it?
58.
Yeah, Channel 58. Yeah. Going to that, blowing it up.
Oh, yeah.
And the first real experience with the zombies, like, the Horde, was awesome. Yeah, what were you going to say, Connor?
Just to fuck with Ricky, as you guys, like, in the rebuilding effort, we'll see in the next one, next time you pass that building, fine. Just fine.
Yeah.
You know I love that YouTube channel.
Go watch Channel 58, it's good.
Go watch Channel 58.
So
It's really good, especially if you love horror.
If you love horror analog, bro,
Analog Horror, which is one of my favorites.
go watch it.
Yeah. Got into it from the... So, alright, one thing I could finally say while we're talking about Analog Horror and horror in general, I am unashamedly a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I know that is what is seen as a child's thing, much like something like Fortnite or something like that. But
He also plays that.
oh no, I've been getting to play for reasons. There's a level editor. I want to make levels. I like designing things.
Sure.
But all right, no build is fun too. Anyway,
Yeah, now
I'm a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy, and but the big thing is about FNAF is that the community made stuff those like VHS tapes.
I was just thinking about those.
Oh, they're so good. They are so good, and that's bringing it back to Contagion. Is Riddle kind of evoked those like analog like horror VHS tape, the glitching, and especially the first thing that really got me going with it was the screen. When he popped up on the screen, dude, and he was like a character there, I was like, dude, I could see this in a freaking VHS tape, like, style, you know, like, welcome to, you know, welcome to school.
My favorite thing that happened in that was the run.
Dude, I need to make a clip of that. I'm going to make a clip of that.
Yeah,
because,
just, like, watching YouTube go from, like, oh, this is fucking...
Yeah, no, when we both realized at the same time, I was like, what did he say? Wait, what did he say? And then you're like, he's behind you. I was like, huh?
Feel a hand on your shoulder and you go flying into a locker.
Dude.
His Ricky moment.
And again, a moment like where I could imagine like the tension strings, you know, building up as it's like zooming in on him, and then music cuts. Run. And just all hell breaks loose. Like, that's what I imagine. And it's so good. It's so good. I love it. So, yeah. No, episode 2 was amazing, dude. Episode 2 was so good. And it set up, if I may take your job one time, a beautiful episode 3 and finale. I'm sorry, it was there in my hands and I had to take it.
You're good. I just wanted to do that. I thought it'd be funny.
Oh, it was funny. It was funny. All right, take a drop back.
It wasn't.
You're a liar. All right. I'll kill you.
Do it.
I don't have my script up. Oh God, we didn't write anything. Oh no. So, favorite moment of the episode. Let's just
smile boy.
Dude, Smile was so good. That's gonna be a clip.
Please.
But yeah,
I don't think you realize how much I've been doing that ever since that episode.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Connor, I have a moment for you, and you will love the fuck out of this. We were standing on set Thursday, and I was AD for a set, and we were putting gel lights, which if no one is in film, that is just like a little like blue piece of paper that you put on top of a light to make it look blue and make it look cooler. I was standing at the end of the hallway going, which it was amazing. Yeah, it was that. That was me.
so good.
But
good. You can barely see it, but
that's how much I loved that episode and that fight, because it was a very short fight. It was a very short fight.
It was like what, 2-3 rounds?
But it was so good. Anyways, that was my favorite part.
No, it was very. What? Where did Mr. Keeper go? Oh, there he.
Hey! He's there!
I dice off my desk, and then when I walked back over, I stepped on the bag, and all of them shot out across my floor.
Oh no!
What was your favorite moment? Noah moment.
What was your favorite Noah moment?
What was your favorite Noah moment? My favorite moment is when he screams.
Right after you're revived. So spoiler alert for the finale. I heard you. Dell dies.
Dell fucking dies.
I think that whole procession.
No. Pause.
Whoa.
I didn't die once. I did the math. I died 3 times.
Yeah, you took 16 harm, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So, for those of you who maybe are watching and just don't care about spoilers, or still don't quite know how Monster of the Week really works because you're not playing or haven't seen it at all, you essentially every character has a harm rating, which is 0 to 7, right? And at 3 harm, you are considered unstable, and you're essentially bleeding out, and you're going to get worse. And then once you reach 7 harm, you die. So 16 harm is enough to kill a character 2.5 times over. But the only reason he was able to take that was because, again, of that ability that you had that staved off any damage during combat until the end of it. There it is. I knew it was going to pop up. I knew it was going to pop up.
You know how long I've been holding that in? There was one part where I literally covered my mic and went... Sorry, I love that song.
We're going to get copyright strike by Jack Black.
Jack.
Yeah, I love you, Jack. Everybody says I look like you, so, you know.
Connor,
Anyway,
do you love Jack?
Peach.
Yeah, I love
I
that song.
fucking introduced you to Tenacious D. You think I don't love Jack Black?
Hey man, I love Jack Black when Kung Fu Panda came out.
I got in trouble in 6th grade for sitting in class listening to Tenacious D too loud, and I almost told my teacher to fuck off because I'd been listening to it so much, and like in my head it was just going fuck off, fuck off.
That's really funny. That's really fucking funny.
Like, fuck off.
But no, what was I saying? Favorite moment, yeah. That whole ending fight into the reveal of you took 16 harm, and I had a feeling that somebody was going to die. Because I knew Connor wasn't going to pull any punches, and I was kind of prepared for it to be me. Mainly because I was like, I thought that Ricky was going to be able to make the right choices as Dell to kind of bob and weave. Maybe, but I don't know. I guess I thought it wrong. Sometimes I think wrong. But I guess maybe it wasn't you, but maybe it was me going for a sacrifice or trying to do too much and just getting overwhelmed. I thought I was going to die because I didn't have a lot of options, defensive options, to get things off of me outside of shotgun. And I lost my flamethrower at the very beginning. So I didn't have a lot of options. But it was you. And I was dying. I think I was on like 2 harm from death, something like that. But yeah, that moment where you take 16 damage, and I almost laughed, but the reality of, oh shit, he's dead. There's no saving throws, none that's not in the system. It's death. And so I just immediately went into, how am I going to save this? What would Greg do? And Greg is kind of a lonely guy at this point. He used to have a lot of friends, but didn't really care for them because he was that kind of guy. And once it cut to reality of, this is kind of the only person that believes him right now. And the only person who's experienced what he has right now. If he has to go back, and all this raced through my head, I was like, oh my god, all of this is going to happen. If he has to go back to nobody believing him, if nobody believes him about what truly happened, that's torture. That's his own personal hell. Like, he would go off the deep end again and would probably get caught and thrown in a mental prison for doing some bullshit. Which, it's in my backstory. I did get thrown in a mental prison for like 5 years. No, Greg ain't no joke. That motherfucker went off the
There was another version.
Oh. I don't know if it's me or it's you. I don't know, but I lagged a little bit. Hello?
You did.
Lag. Okay. Alright, lag a little bit. Sorry about that, stream. Sorry about that. Continue, Connor. Oh my god. Shit. Did the internet just go out? Fuck, dude. Stream still live? Yeah, we're still live. Hi, chat. Hi, everyone. I don't know what's going on. I'm still broadcasting to you. I don't know if Discord is dying. I don't... Oh. Oh, no. Oh, it's all weird now. We're gonna go to break. Hold on. We're gonna go to break. We're back. Sorry about that, everyone. We had a weird technical difficulty and just decided to take a quick break.
I'm not sorry.
All right, well, Del Forger for you.
I'm goofy, silly goofball.
Little silly goofy
Silly
baby man.
goofy goofball.
So Noah's favorite part is when Del fucking dies and comes back.
No, not well. Okay, yes. The last part, yeah. No, that moment, it was a lot of fun for me. I love dramatic moments where I get to be a fucking handball. I'm a little bit of a person of self-interest for me, even though I also am not at the same time. Do what? What? What'd you say?
What?
Oh.
What?
Anyway, I like it when I get to do cool things. And I'm happy when I get to do that, and that was a cool moment for me. Greg picks up Del and runs down the secret entrance back to the shack. Which was that planned? The shack thing that was just random, dude. That was beautiful. Getting that was awesome. But yeah, running back those miles. I mean, to be honest, I didn't describe it, but I should have. Greg would have been gone. And I kind of played it a little bit, at the very end when I'm like huffing and puffing, and that was such. I rewatched that a lot, to be honest. It's an embarrassing fact, but I did. I rewatched myself, fucking role playing, breathing, because I love that moment of like the embrace and then Dale going, "What the fuck is going on? Like, what just happened?" And that moment was awesome. And then literally, as we said, scene transitions, and we go to Christmas, which was fun.
Merry Chrysler.
Yeah, that was really awesome. That ending was amazing. So, what did you? Let's talk about. I would say a question from me. What did you have planned if we were going to go 2 more sessions? Because you said you planned at 5. What did you have? What can you tell us? You can't tell us anything? Why not? Man. Alright. Well, something you probably can tell us that you said you were going to. What did we miss in the school? We talked about that. You said yeah.
I told you.
Did you? What'd you say?
Y'all were going to have to play a musical melody.
Oh, that was what we missed. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. Anyway, so yeah, Del Forger, Ricky Self. Any questions for Mr. Keeper or Mr. Me?
What's your inspiration for the Smiley Man? I don't think you realize how much I love him. What was your inspiration for him? Like, honest to God. Or was it a little silly Connor thought that popped up in your head and you're like, yeah.
So, my parents...
I don't like where this is going.
Told me that I can contort my face in terrible, horrible ways. So I always thought, like, the scariest thing that, like, I could fucking do is just the... Because it's that, like, kind of sweet, innocent, like, the smile, but then you just stretch it, relax.
And it's the eyes.
And the eyes, and you get them to here.
Yeah, I can't do that because my cheek goes up when I smile, so it's still, like, really happy, even though I'm like...
There is a picture of me, I think it's a day after the session of me doing that face that someone has screenshotted. I'm 90% sure I have it. Yeah.
All I can tell you that you missed, I almost asked you, both of you, what your character feared the most. And I can't give you more than that?
I thought the way you started it was very interesting. The way you started that episode was really cool.
Yeah, the
A little
flashback,
known
like
moment.
kind of not flashback, flash forward, flash dimension
Fear.
thing. Yeah. Fucking face, dude. It makes me laugh,
I
but
love
also
it.
I want to run. God, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, no, just he was almost like I could imagine that the Smiley Monster. I've been recently. I'm a big anime guy, and I've been recently watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I could imagine him. I can imagine Smiley Guy as a
I really
curse.
love that anime.
Can't you?
I literally, that poster
Yeah.
right there is a Jujutsu Kaisen poster.
Yeah. Can't you imagine him as a curse?
Mhm.
Smiley Guy? Oh my
There
god.
is a
It's like
curse that's
I
like
can
that.
just I can only imagine. Yeah. But just like or even just an anime monster in general, really. Like that I can just imagine that scene of just like and he's just crawling and just and just goes like it just it's so good. I love that monster. It is really good. I hated the spider.
He has a fear of spiders. Send him spiders.
Wow!
No,
Wow!
no.
I have severe. Okay, please. I'm being serious. I hate being serious, but I'm being serious right now. I have a severe arachnophobia. Please do not send me spiders.
There's a reason I don't tell them my phobias.
Well, I can't hide it when I play grounded and there's a tarantula in my face.
It's true.
Yeah, Spider Monster is a thing I've had in my head for a little bit.
Yeah. Being a kid too, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
L.
I have demons.
And they're winning. And they are winning.
And they won.
And they've won long
They
ago.
That was just a glimpse into my dark reality. No,
Just my mind is
I
just
hear
so
voices
demented.
in my
No
head.
one could
They talk to
understand
me.
what I
They
feel.
understand. They question me.
No, it was mostly like I just sit there and go, all right, what would scare the shit out of me in real life?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was like, because I live in a city, and I was like, the scariest thing I could think of is something that looks like a human and isn't. And
Me.
it's a Mitch Hedberg joke, but I think it is quite possibly the most terrifying thing ever. He poses the question that what if Bigfoot isn't this big hairy Sasquatch? What if he's just a blurry monster? And it's funny in context with how he delivers it, but the thought of walking down the street and seeing like a silhouette of a person that never really gets definition would terrify me.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay, that inspiration.
That's deep.
Thanks for the inspiration.
Anyways, I hear voices.
But yes, I actually did want to comment on your resurrection, Dell. It kind of, without giving too much away,
Yes.
it kind of got into some stuff that I had originally planned for Dusty.
My original character, yeah.
Your original character, when that was almost going to be a campaign. I can't give you a lot more than that.
Greg kind of taking up that mantle then. Interesting.
But the Dustman name has more meaning than you think it does, and you are not the first to encounter the paranormal in the way that you have.
You gave my character's family lore. I love it.
Dell, I don't really have anything like super big bombs to drop on you. Except that you're without you taking that move, you guys would not have survived.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because I gave you infinite health. Like,
I have infinite health until we get out of combat.
And that your abilities may have caught the attention of something else. Or someone else.
Cool.
I love it.
And
Keep her dropping jump shells even after that.
unless y'all have any questions for me or the audience has any questions.
Audience, ask us questions or I'll find you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna stand in the corner of your
Question.
bedroom when you sleep, and I'm gonna.
So you
Alright,
come here often?
No.
And not
Only
after that. But do y'all have any other questions for me?
I hear voices in my head.
Why are you so good?
True.
I'm not. I'm lying and I'm cheating.
I think we all are a little bit. You did good. You did
I'm
good,
doing
kid.
I'm doing my best Brendan Lee Mulligan and Matt Mercer impression anytime I DM.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, if we have nothing else,
Yeah.
I believe that is where we will wrap it up for the night. This story was super important to me. I'd like to thank these guys for being in on it, and I'd also like to thank Tristan for suggesting that he pop in at the end.
Oh my god, yeah, let's not forget. Oh my god, that moment when we dropped in. I can go play it again. Hold on. At the very end, Greg hears on the radio a little drop-in moment from Egg himself.
I miss him.
Greg, I think I found something.
I haven't seen Egg in 2 years.
Shit's getting weird, but you gotta
Discord call
Shit.
2 days ago.
No, he didn't.
It was really
2
cool.
days.
That little moment. So, yeah. No, that was awesome.
And, I
definitely
thank
thanks,
Tristan
Dag.
because it made me start thinking about things for the future that I got to set up in that episode.
Yeah. Thanks to Tristan for that, as well as the work he did on the finale teaser, the little kind of a graphic exploration trailer thing that we did.
All his idea.
A lot of
Real.
fun. All his idea. He
Real.
came to us and was like, well, I can't be a part of it, but I can, in my spare time, I can maybe make something fun. And it was amazing. I loved it. And I did a good amount of work on it too, but Tristan was the legwork. He built the foundation and the walls.
Tristan, yeah.
I just put the little embellishments and, kind of prettied it up to the end.
And I did nothing.
So,
No,
well,
no.
you technically did everything. You built the
No.
the whole. All right, well,
I didn't edit shit.
I didn't edit shit. I didn't do nothing.
I didn't even join the Discord call.
We only see him when we're streaming. He doesn't.
Sorry, just being around these guys makes me so fucking sick.
The veneer is falling. Oh no! All right, well, we got to get you out of here before you succumb to the contagion.
Yeah, get these fuckers out of here. Hey! Haha. This is why I can't fucking hang out with these guys.
Real.
But yes, thank you everybody so much for coming out. And yeah, we will be back next week with Contagion.
Really? Dude, bust out the character sheet. Let's go. Greg, Dell, let's go. We're back at it. Part 2. Let's go.
We will be back next week with Catalyst. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, the YouTubes, the Twitters, the TikToks. We will don't follow us on Twitter because that's Ricky's domain, and you don't want to see the shit in his head. Thank you guys so much for coming out today, and although it may be over,
Law.
Never forget.
Consume. Build. Consume. Build.
Consume. Build.
Bro, it ain't funny anymore.